We've got brand new developments for you tonight in the case against Casey Anthony. The attorney for George and Cindy Anthony, Brad Conway, says he plans to release even more documents Wednesday. This, of course, after the state made public more than 1,000 pages of information today. Sources say information coming out tomorrow will show two things: that duct tape found at the crime scene does not match duct tape recovered from the Anthony home, and a huge development that there was hair found on that duct tape that does not belong to either Casey or Kaylee Anthony. We expect to learn more about that in a news conference scheduled for tomorrow morning. But right now, News 13's Jacqueline Fell brings us more details on what the state released today.
They test, inspect, and compare. But in the words of FBI officials, they don't, quote, report conclusions about what may or may not have left any marks or impressions in cases like this. It is too speculative. In the case against Casey Anthony, specifically the trunk of a Pontiac Sunfire, FBI officials discuss a photo in an email. Through analysis of stains, one writes, quote, you could make out the bottom of the child, then curving down to the legs bent in the fetal position, end quote. The hope was to enhance the photo. In another email, the focus stays on the car, but turns to comparing hair. Officials hoped for more samples, but they write hair found inside the trunk is, quote, microscopically, end quote, similar to Kaylee's and different from Casey's. But the tech can't say absolutely that the hair came from a dead body, but is consistent. Then there's some confusion in the FBI labs over 3 pieces of duct tape noted as found on the skull of the victim. They eventually identified some DNA residue, but couldn't connect it to anybody in the case. Finally, after testing all their own lab people, it was identified as DNA from one of their own, a woman who works with the FBI. In the hundreds of pages of graphs and comparisons, there's nothing that undoubtedly links Casey to Kaylee's murder. If anything, it gives the defense more ammo to poke holes in the state's case and create more questions. Jacqueline Fell, News 13.